Hi everyone, welcome back to the Augsburg Weekly Sports Updates. Unnamed show, we're not even going to try and ask for names anymore. I mean, we gave it a shot, give it all we could.
No responses.
No responses. You know, it's okay. We see how it is, everyone out there. Saw John Cassin's dad out this weekend. Pleasure to see you out, Mr. Cassins. Thanks for recognizing me. Made my day. Thought it was pretty cool. But let's get some men's basketball. Easily amused Mike Gallagher. That's right. Easily amused and impressed. So we're going to go to men's basketball. 78-63 win over St. John's. Talk about Andy Grimm down the stretch. You know, really played huge. Even hit a three. Got the guys up on the bench, hooting and hollering a little bit, and the fact that
right to the shot clock.
Yeah, not even gonna. That wouldn't usually happen. So talk about how important that win was, and you know they're really building some momentum going into the playoffs.
Well, you know what was key for them is that we've been talking about for the last few weeks, and they really shut down that that inside presence. They were Corey's best player. Birdsell was a 13-11 guy going into the game. I think they held him to maybe 11 points, a handful of rebounds, which is great work by them. Also, I know talking to some of the guys, Coach Grease really got after it that week, Monday and Tuesday, leading up, trying to get that competitive fire back. They lost, they lost to Concordia and barely beat McAllister the week before. I really saw that they were very competitive against St. John's and seen that by blowing out a very good team.
You talk about Coach Grease, and we don't really usually talk about him on the show. We usually keep it to players, but let's talk about him and the fact that it looks like he's really making a lot of great moves with the roster. Those three bench guys, Kwame, Brum, and Sorensen, they were 7 for 12 in this game, 23 points, really efficient off the bench.
Yeah, Coach Grease does a great job with, he doesn't coach by a notebook where he goes, I'm gonna have this guy come in at the 16-minute mark. This guy, he just kind of goes with the flow and how the game. He knows who he wants to get in there, but he makes great in-game adjustments with his player personnel and then even with strategy.
Two games this week, Bethel and St. Mary's going forward, and then heading into the playoffs. And we're looking to get that 3rd or 4th seed. Talk about how important that seed is. Looking forward to next week, as we're kind of looking to get that one locked up, and we really should with these 2 of the 3 bottom teams in the conference.
Well, ideally you want to get the 2 seed, but we need a little help now to get the 2 seed after losing to Carleton on Saturday. But the 3 seed, that's not a bad spot for them because they'll get the 6 seed at home that first game of the playoffs, and then they'll go to the 2 seed. And then you avoid St. Thomas to the championship game. I think that's really what their goal has been to get to the conference championship game and then try to have your best game against St. Thomas in that conference championship game.
As this is kind of a playoff preview / wrap-up show, let's talk about Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday are the playoff games. Host that one Tuesday, hopefully, if they win this week. If you could put your finger on one thing this year that has really pushed this team over the edge and really has them looking good going into the playoffs, what do you think it would be?
Senior leadership. John Cassins, you saw, was really the main part of their offense for his first 3 years. He's almost kind of taken the back seat this year and got more people involved, been more of a facilitator than a pure scorer, which is really a testament to his leadership skills that he has. That he's been now a 4-year starter, been an all-conference performer numerous times, and he's really he's been a great leader, great competitor for these Auggies.
At Bethel on Wednesday and back home against St. Mary's on Friday to close out the season. Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday next week playoffs. Hopefully we'll see you out Tuesday.
We'll be there Saturday. We'll be there Saturday.
We'll be there. Yeah,
we'll be playing Saturday.
Right, and so we'll hopefully see you throughout the week. I'm just banking on the fact that they're gonna get that home playoff spot. So looking at women's basketball as we wish the men best of luck this week. 83-56 loss. Sarah Levine, Tracy Schronk, and Brittany Dyshaw in double figures in that one. Lost to St. Ben's, and then 86-60 loss to Carleton. Schronk with career 16, Lexi Thompson and Dyshaw also in double figures. It's been kind of a rough year for the Auggies, and the fact that you haven't really been able to look at one thing and been like, they've really done this extremely well, and this is something we can hang our hat on. But the good thing looking forward is that you're not graduating anyone. You got a strong core group. Shannon Reddy, Brittany Dyshaw, and Micah Sater all averaging in double figures to complement Sarah Levine and Tracy Schronk, along with Lexi Thompson. So talk about bringing that group back next year and what they can maybe grow on after this year.
Yeah, you see these couple of blowouts here later in the season here. It's kind of wearing on them. It's tough to go in there and lose. They have good players, but like we've talked about all year, they're very inexperienced, and they're players that have a lot of potential and can be really good players in the MIAC, but right now as freshmen, if it's physical or talent-wise, just a little bit behind par with some of the better teams in the conference. You've seen them compete against the good teams like St. Kate's, and you've seen them play well at times throughout the year. And I think you just kind of look back on some film, kind of look at what you need to improve on, and look at what you did well in your freshman year and sophomore year for these other girls. And then kind of look at how you can build them out in the off season. If it's in the weight room, if it's in the gym, if just kind of clean your head here after the season. Have a good summer and kind of move on from there.
Do you think if they bring some recruits in, some top line recruits, that they can really compete in the MIAC next year, maybe make a playoff run?
Well, definitely. Let alone from the recruits, just what they have coming back, with the experience they have coming back. Shannon Reddy will be a senior. It'll be her last year, so she'll really be have kind of like what John Cassins is with Augsburg men this season, to have that extra push. This is your last season. You've been a starter for 3 years now. But I think naturally you want recruits to come in. I don't think necessarily the recruits will come in and maybe compete for significant playing time, and they may, because who knows the level of recruits that they can bring in. But whenever you have new faces in the program, it always pushes the players and always makes them execute better. They don't take anything for granted.
Hopefully in this offseason it'll be a lot. I'm sure it'll be a lot harder work from the girls, and they'll really come back and hungry in the MIAC next year. And we're excited for that.
They'll have familiarity with each other too in the offseason, where they can get in the gym together.
With so many freshmen, it's nice to get that nice cohesiveness. So hopefully we'll come back and have a great season next year. We wish them the best luck in the offseason, and hopefully we can get some good recruits in here and get those girls that work so hard for their spots, get them back and get them ready again for next season. So good season by the girls, and we'll look forward and wish them the best. And as we turn to women's hockey, and a little bit of a rough go against St. Olaf, 9-2 loss on Friday. Outshot 57-14. Congratulations to Gianna Dudley, scored her first collegiate goal. That was the one bright spot to take away from that game. And then looking towards Saturday, a 2-2 tie to St. Olaf, which Jess Olsen was huge in this game. We're still trying to get her on, Jess. Trying to set up an interview. It's been kind of rough here.
We get big time about a lot of these players and throw out the different sports.
Well, with the season winding down, exactly.
No, they're busy.
Very true, but you saw Tony Menth. You saw Tony Menth get pulled from that 9-2 game, and then Grace Egger really played solid in that game coming back on Saturday. She played the entire game, 37 saves, got the tie. Do you like that philosophy of Tony Menth is a senior? Obviously, she's done a lot of great things for the program. Absolutely. All MIAC three times, and she may be again. Do you like the philosophy of getting Grace Eggers some reps and getting ready for next year since she's a junior?
I definitely agree. At this point, they were kind of a couple weeks ago. They're mathematically in the playoff. I know with only taking 1 point from St. Olaf, I think they're eliminated from the playoff contention. And you do have to look from look to a lot next year. And it's no knock on Tony Menth. She's had great 4 years. She's done a lot for the program. She's probably hitting a wall here too, where you don't want to. You want to keep some of that. Keep some of that spark and shine from her career, and not have the last couple of games, let up 9 goals in one game. So you kind of got to protect that in itself. Get her going again on senior night. They'll probably go rotating goalies again this weekend for the last series against Bethel. And I just, it's no knock on her, but I think you got to definitely look towards the future because they have such young talent where they can be a contender next season.
They do have Bethel this weekend. They do also have Gustavus. There's one more series after that. So so they're going to be in action both weekends. At Bethel on Friday and then back home on Saturday. So. Looking at going into the offseason with the girls, what do you think that the key will be for Joe Patel and this squad in order to come back and kind of put the season behind them and move forward and grow as a team?
Well, I mean, something that they've done this season, they've played a lot of players, a lot of forwards, a lot of defensemen. They've rotated and given them all a shot. I think the coach Joe Patel and some of the captains and the leaders will have to sit down to watch, with their assistant coaches and watch some film and see who really stuck out and really look at who was really committed this offseason. It's very easy after a bad year. Sometimes you talk about the women's basketball team. It's hard. Maybe some girls don't want to put the commitment in the offseason. They don't want to hit the weight room. They don't want to get extra ice time in the offseason. Find ice time in the first place, which never is easy in the summer. It's just one of those things. Whoever's most committed, whoever's willing to put the time, I think gets the foot ahead going into next season.
Congratulations to Tony Menth on a fantastic career, and great career, and moving forward, obviously, in the next 2 series, good luck to the women in getting wins against Bethel and Gustavus the weekend after this coming one. So, moving to men's hockey, as we're coming down the stretch, and this is really getting intense.
It is.
Honestly, you had that 4-1 win against St. Olaf on Friday. Really a dominant win for the team. 32-18, they outshot the Augies, and Justin Lackner played great in goal.
He had an excellent weekend.
Yeah, excellent weekend overall. And what exactly did you hear from the game after the game from the guys, and how do you think this performance was?
Well, just by being at the game, St. Olaf scored their first shot, and after that, I think Justin Lackner had 16 or 17 straight saves without them scoring, and I think the guy who scored for them was a former Division I transfer, so naturally a very good player. And St. Olaf had a good couple lines there. But I thought pure dominance, in that first game Friday night. You saw the Auggies, all lines looked like they were all systems a go, and Critter Johnson played phenomenally. He didn't score any goals, but he just stuck out that he was the best player in the ice that night. Plays he was making, Joel Sauer's goal, made a perfect pass to him, kind of took the face off and went through the whole St. Olaf defense, made a great pass to Joel Sauer. I thought Critter had probably one of the best games I've seen all year, and he didn't score a goal.
So then you look to Saturday. Obviously, they scored the first 2 goals, and came out of the gate hot. And where do you think that offense went, though? Justin Lackner played another great game of goal, as you said, 34 saves, but the offense kind of disappeared, and St. Olaf rallied and got the 3-2 victory.
They had an unfortunate 10-minute penalty there in the third period, which kind of hindered any kind of momentum in the third period. But it's one of those things where you gotta fight through adversity, kind of come together and get a goal to tie the game there at 3. But St. Olaf, tough team, being the road. They are a good team. They're right there in the playoff on 1 point behind Bethel, or 1 point behind Augsburg and Bethel. Yep. And I just think St. Olaf's a good team. You're not going to be. It's hard to get sweeps. It's hard to get sweeps against a good team. St. Olaf won the regular season in the league last year, so they weren't going to go down without a fight this season. They weren't going to be eliminated. With 1 week left.
St. Olaf, as you said, point behind, along with Bethel, behind Augsburg for that 4th spot right now.
Yep.
Still, technically, the Auggies can clinch with 1 victory this weekend. They're playing Bethel at home Friday and on Saturday on the road against Bethel. So, looking at the playoff scenarios, obviously you need 1 win. Looking forward, how do you see this playing out? And what do you like? How do you think our chances are going to play out against Bethel this weekend?
Well, it's kind of deja vu from last season, where you're checking the computer every day during the week and thinking like something's going to change in the standings, or looking who's been playing well for these other teams, or who's playing who this weekend. What really comes down to the Auggies win, they're in, so they control they're in the playoffs. It'll depend on the seed. If they sweep, they'll get the 3 seed and they'll jump ahead of St. Thomas, move St. Thomas down to the 4, which means then they would. They wouldn't play in the playing game, but they would go on the road for their first game against a 2 seed, which will presumably be Hamlin, which is a team that they've played excellent against both times they've played this year. Split a couple weeks ago.
That matchup same as last year.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And that's kind of literally like we talked about in our shows, that's definitely been their rival. Seen from the last couple of years, and I think that's really good if they can get that 3 seed. But if they don't, if they split with Bethel, they'll be sitting at the 4 seed, and depending on what St. Olaf does, they'll host that playing game or maybe go down to Olaf as the 5 seed. So there's a lot of hockey left to play. St. Olaf has St. John's this weekend, who they probably should get 4 points from. We don't ever see St. John's. Last year could have controlled their own destiny, and then ended up losing to St. Mary's, which ended up propelling Augsburg into the playoffs. So we'll see what happens this year.
Do you worry about not missing the playoffs at all, or since the Auggies tend to play their best hockey late, and since they're on such, have played very good in the second half, are you really not concerned about that?
Well, I know yesterday or Monday at practice they really got after it, had a really hard hitting practice. They really thought they did a lot of good drills, and they did a lot of great stuff getting them prepared for the week. I don't know, with Critter Johnson, I think as captain won't let his team, take Bethel for granted. They did beat them 4-0, in the first game of the year at the Mayak Showcase in Bloomington, but I don't think they'll come out flat. I would be very surprised the Auggies don't make the playoffs. I think everyone around the program, everyone in the school will be very disappointed, because I think they have so much talent, and I just don't think it's really an option. They'll get their 1 win, they'll get in the playoffs, but I'd really like to see them get that 3 seed, because then I think they got a stranglehold and a chance to win the conference tournament, because I think they can go in Drake Ice Arena against Hamlin and win. They lost 3-2 there a couple weeks ago, and I really like their chances with the sweep versus Bethel to make a run in the tournament.
It's an exciting time around campus, really especially with men's sports, men's basketball, and men's hockey, making playoff pushes, and it's going to be a great week coming up in next week. Join us next week for our playoff previews with a few of the athletes, and then the recaps the week after, and we hope to see you then, folks. Go out and cheer on those Auggies. Fill the rink with pink this Friday for the Augie men's hockey team.